night upon the water, some are waking by the shore. Little sails are catching breezes, drifting out to sea once more.
Stokes Bay Sailing Club. The most important organisation in the bay's sailing history is Stokes Bay Sailing Club, SBSC. The club was founded in 1938. On the 9th of May, 1938, a meeting took place at Gosport Council Chamber to discuss establishing a club at Stokes Bay for owners of small boats. There was also a wider civic motivation, encouraging people to visit the Alverstoke and Stokes Bay area. The proposal was accepted and the new sailing club was established. Its beginnings were extremely modest compared with today's clubhouse.
Blue above and blue below us, white sails dancing on the tide, gentle winds across the water, carry little boats outside.
War interrupts the new club. Unfortunately, the club had barely begun when the Second World War started in September 1939. Stokes Bay's transformation into a military embarkation and training area inevitably affected recreational sailing. The war ultimately provided the sailing club with an unusual legacy. A two-story control center had been constructed to coordinate the D-Day embarkation operation. After the war, Stokes Bay Sailing Club took over this building. So the development of today's sailing club is directly connected with the bay's D-Day history.
Children laughing in the sunshine, running barefoot through the grass. Nothing here is in a hurry, let the summer moments.
Post-war sailing boom. After World War II, recreational sailing became increasingly accessible. Stokes Bay Sailing Club expanded with it. What had begun with very basic facilities developed into a substantial clubhouse, which has subsequently required multiple extensions as membership and sailing activities increased. Stokes Bay also contributed to the broader development of sailing around Gosport. For example, Fred Roberts, a founder member of Stokes Bay Sailing Club, was subsequently involved in establishing Hardway Sailing Club in 1945. This illustrates how interconnected Gosport's post-war sailing community became.
Last, stay a while beside the water, feel the warm breeze wandering free, through the woodland, through the meadow, where the summer meets the sea. Let the sails drift on.
Racing at Stokes Bay. Stokes Bay eventually developed a reputation extending well beyond local club sailing. The relatively open Solent water provides excellent opportunities for setting racing courses, and the club has hosted significant national sailing events. Members have competed at national, European and World Championship level, while the club has produced its own national and international champions. Perhaps the most famous sailing connection is Sir Ben Ainslie. According to Discover Gosport and the Sailing Club, Ainslie trained at Stokes Bay before achieving his extraordinary Olympic sailing success. That gives Stokes Bay a genuine connection to Britain's Olympic sailing story.
On the horizon, let the whole world simply be, on a peaceful summer's day here, where the summer meets the sea.
Why Stokes Bay is so good for sailing? Several geographical characteristics combine to make the bay interesting. Direct Solent access means sailors are quickly in open sailing water without negotiating a harbour. All tide launching is another major advantage. The shelving shingle beach allows dinghy sailing throughout the tidal cycle. Strong tides make racing tactically challenging. Solent tidal streams can significantly affect a dinghy's course. Varied wind conditions result from the bay's exposure. Conditions can range from relatively sheltered sailing to demanding waves and strong winds. And finally there is the Isle of Wight backdrop. Sailors looking south from the beach see the island across the Solent, while commercial shipping, naval vessels, ferries, and recreational craft regularly pass through the surrounding waters.
down beside the diving museum, stories sleep beneath.
Sailing today. Stokes Bay Sailing Club has evolved beyond conventional dinghy racing. It now has roughly 400 members, with activities encompassing competitive sailing, cruising, cadet sailing and increasingly other water sports such as paddleboarding, kayaking, cold water swimming and wing foiling. There remains a strong racing culture, but the club also emphasizes introducing children and adults to sailing. This makes the modern bay quite an interesting contrast with its past.
Beneath the waves, tales of those who ventured deeper, of the daring and the brave. Old brass helmets tell their stories of a world beneath the sea. Echoes of another.
What makes Stokes Bay particularly special? There aren't many places where such different parts of British maritime history overlap within such a small stretch of coastline. You can stand on Stokes Bay Beach today and look across water where Victorian steamers carried railway passengers to the Isle of Wight, Royal Navy torpedoes were tested, amphibious tanks trained for war, D-Day landing craft assembled for Normandy, generations of local families learned to sail, and some of Britain's leading competitive sailors trained. The transition from a strategic military shoreline into an internationally respected recreational sailing location is arguably one of the most interesting parts of the bay's history.
The lifetime and adventures yet to be. Stay a while beside the water, feel the warm breeze wandering free, through the woodland, through the meadow, where the summer meets the sea.
As one of the few institutions of its kind in the entire UK, the Diving Museum Gosport is comprehensively and exclusively dedicated to the evolution of underwater breathing apparatus across all its aspects: recreational, industrial, scientific, and military. When choosing the best Hampshire attractions, you simply cannot miss this gem, managed by the passionate volunteers of the Historical Diving Society. Prepare for a journey through the drama, heroism, and incredible innovations that forever changed our relationship with the ocean.
Beside the water, feel the warm breeze wandering free, through the woodland, through the meadow, where the summer meets the sea. Let the sails drift on the horizon, let the whole world simply be, on a peaceful summer's day here, where the summer meets the sea.
As we head back along the coast, there is plenty of woodland to explore, tennis courts, a assault course for dogs, and crazy golf at Solent Springs Adventure Golf. There is also a playground and splash park for the children.
Follow pathways through the woodlands, sunlight dancing through the trees. Leaves are moving right above us, whispering softly in the breeze. Out beyond the shade of Metairie, nowhere else to go. Listen to the summer and the tide's familiar flow. Watch the sunlight on the water, see the little sailboats glide. Feel the grass beneath the footsteps, with the wind by your side. Golden light across the water, afternoon is drifting by.
And keeping us all safe is the wonderful Gaffers, Gosport and Fareham Inshore Rescue Service.
Sails are turning toward the shoreline, underneath a summer sky. Woodland shadows growing longer, still the warm breeze wanders free. Another perfect day's passing, where the summer meets the sea. Stay a while beside the water, through the warm breeze wandering free. Through the woodland, through the meadow, where the summer meets the sea. Let the sails drift on the horizon, let the whole world simply be. On a peaceful summer's day here, where the summer meets the sea.